work globally, right? We all know the power of each of Mr. Bansali's films. You know, they've all left like a legacy behind them. They're all points of references. They're cultural sort of high points. He captures the zeitgeist every time he sort of presents a story, and what a memorable experience it always is. And I think that's exactly sort of ties in completely with the ethos of what we try to do at Netflix. I mean, if every night is to be a Netflix night, I think what we want to leave behind with every one of our members, every one of our audience, is experiences that they talk about, experiences that sort of stay with them, whether it's in the form of a film, whether it's in the form of a series, an unscripted documentary reality show. I think it's a diverse experience, but when it comes from an auteur like Mr. Bansali, I think the experience lasts much longer, the conversations are much longer. I can tell you, the excitement for the show is not just in India, it's across the world. People are waiting for Reemana. We've seen that with Gangubai, right? We've seen, a post from the Queen of Ireland dressed as Gangubai, sort of enacting that. That's the power of content, and that's the power of, the agency that we as a conduit have for these stories, to take it far and wide, and really influence people. I really don't have any other way to say it's a match made in heaven.
Absolutely is, absolutely is. It's much more character like this. It's so strong. Yet, I would like to say that it's complex, very complex being
not
character.
Very complex.
Very complex being a character, right? So what is a character like that? What kind of opportunities that a character like that presents to you as an actor? And how does it kind of maybe push you further to excel on screen?
I think every actor craves for that challenge. When you're doing a film, when you're doing a role, especially for me, like I've grown throughout my profession. I've learned through experience. I started off completely from scratch. I had no experience of being on a film set. I used to not listen to I had no training, whether it was acting or dancing or anything of the sort. I was not groomed for it. I was easily thrown into the deep end of the pool and said I must swim. And that's how I learned. So every experience for me was, I really cherish it because I learned a lot from it. Every person that I work with, I learned a lot from. And which is what brought me to this point today where as a very Bansali comes to me, he has confidence in me, offering me a role like Freedom, who is very, very complex. And beyond that, like, I've been working for the last 14 years and I've done all sorts of roles. I started off with these really commercial masalas, so to speak, films where it was always about a hero, which I'm not complaining. It really gave me an audience, it gave me a wide reach. It gave me the confidence, and then where I was able to kind of shoulder films on my own. That's when I started playing really strong female characters, and which were different from the other, whether it was a Kira or a Noor or a Khana, Shafa or the Heart. So I consciously chose roles that were something that I'm not paid with, that I'm not done with. And that really pushes me challenges with an actor. So when Sir came to me with this, I just looked at him and I was like, thank you for imagining me like this, because it's just such an honor for an actor or a director envisions you in a way that nobody ever has even thought of us. So that is something that every actor craves for. And when he did come to me, I was like, you know what? I'm on. I have to do this.
And if I may, I've had the privilege to see the show multiple times. So what a performance it is. Sonakshi is, I think, best, and really amazing portrayal of not just a complex character, but really delicious character.
Delicious
all
character.
the shades
Lovely.
that a woman would. And she plays them to perfection.
And stand for all the shades that a woman would have. Amplified, magnified, dramatized.
Yeah. We can't wait to see all of that. All the shades amplified and magnified, because at the end of the day, it is something we have we expect. I think get updated.
Can I?
When we talk about women's stories,
I think this will be good.
watching. It's not just women on screen, but it's also got through lots of
कोई नहीं.
right? And I think if you have seen at Netflix and around, there are a lot of women who are also helping the project from behind the scenes. What kind of difference do you think it makes to storytelling, especially when it comes to women's storytelling, when you have a strong women team
I think any team needs to be a dream team. That's the sort of fundamental that we operate with at Netflix. But I will say from experience that when it is a team of women, I think the dream team becomes stronger. I think the empathy that women give is unique to the gender. I think we approach things with a slightly more sensitive, often misunderstood as emotion, but I would say sensitive. A sensitivity that is the feminine touch, and it's something that I think we're all really proud of. I think when you're creating content, you're essentially looking at emotion, you're looking at feelings, you're looking at understanding people. And I think what better approach than to have a set of women, whether it's at our end or like Sonakshi was saying at the Bansari office, there's a lot of wonderful women and many of our other projects as well. I think when women come together, contrary to all the popular motions, I think it's a show of strength as opposed to any other thing. There's this wonderful saying that I don't remember right now, but I hope it says you don't know the potency of a woman until a woman is like a tea bag. You don't know the potency until she's in hot water.
Nice.
So actually, like I said a little earlier, you've been a part of the industry for 14 years and you're someone who's learned on the job and never been changed for it. As you sit here today being a part of such a fantastic project like Reemana in association with Netflix, if you look back at your journey, what are some of the things that kind of come to your mind as highlights and what do you think, how have you evolved as an actor over the years?
I think as a journey, I wouldn't change a thing. Every experience has counted to put me where I am today, right? And I wouldn't have it any other way. I've seen my ups, I've seen my downs, I've seen it all actually, like I said, I learned on the job. So for me, it was actually a very eventful, very fruitful, very a lovely learning experience more than anything else. And I continue to learn even today. Every film that I go to, I approach it like it's my first year on set. And I think that's what keeps me going. This is still something I really look forward to doing every day when I wake up. I want to be on the set. I want to be a different person with every different film. I want to see my director has and how I incorporate the best of my routine. And that's what really keeps me really excited about the job till today. And yeah, I think the journey has been fantastic and I hope I continue to learn because I think that is something that will keep me invested always.
I think when you kind of met you, I don't think you're someone that like complacent. I'm sure that you understand the fact that you should never stop.
Absolutely. Yeah. For anyone. I think the greatest of the greats that you see today, they're still learning and they're okay with it, they're open to everything. Yeah, so I think it should never stop for anyone.
It's not just part of someone in the industry. You know what some of the changes that you see in and around you, when you see has fueled and helped you change when it comes to telling stories?
I think the reception of the audiences has changed over the years. Writing has changed over the years. There are a lot more roles that portray women in a very strong light than before. I feel. I think that's changed. Of course, our perception of content has changed in the last 2 years actually, very, very recently. And yeah, I think change is inevitable, right? And we all have to learn to adapt to that change. As actors, as designers, as creators, everyone. So I think we're all doing pretty well so far. And I hope we continue to because change is always going to happen.
And anyone speaking nowadays as an actor, filmmaker, producers that speak nowadays and ask this question, everyone says that we are somewhere close to the end. We are inching towards that. We're inching closing in a little bit, and the goal is that we're only kind of get very close to the right? Before we go, I have two quick questions for you. What is the one thing that you took away from being part of Reemana?
I think for me, I remember very clearly sort of talking to Bella when I was discussing my possible role at Netflix. She said, "Who do you work with? If you had a choice in the So I think to see the entire journey of
Is there cameras recording? Yeah, I'm just walking in front of them. Okay, I'm so yeah, sure,
last 2 years, and it has been bigger, better, I think grander than our wildest imagination, and it is all kudos to the creator, the creative voice that really sort of envisions, a germ of an idea that sort of fructifies into this beautiful expression. I think it is no dream is too big, and creativity will sort of get us there. And I think there is so much to discover in our landscape. When I look back at the year that we've had with huge successes like Kala Pani, Railway Men, Scoop, Kohra, I can go on, Hunt for Virappan. And as I look ahead, even just today, for example, our launches from the last weekend, Mamla Legal here as well as Buried Truths, the documentary series, both are in the global top 10 non-English series. So it is, what an exciting time it is to take Indian stories, Indian content, Indian voices, Indian actors, Indian creators to the world and really sort of open up all the stories that we have to tell, to lean on their creative voices, to really support them, collaborate them, and really express them in the most dynamic visual expression that we can create. And it's been an amazing journey to do that.
Thanks, Tanya. Sonakshi?
I think I've walked away as a more patient and a more resilient actor. Yeah, it's a good thing because good things take time and greater things take more time. And to be a part of something like this, to make something like this does require a lot of patience. And I've always been the kind of actor who's been on the ball. Like I switch from one thing to the other. Very quickly, I know my job, I go to set, I do it well. Over here, you have to mold yourself along with what is being created in front of you. It's a process of complete surrender. And if you are not able to do that, you cannot be a part of something like this. So I think I walked away as a much stronger actor after Reemana, yes.
And did it somewhere impact you personally? I would like to think characters and playing certain roles maybe adds to you as a person.
No, I don't take my work home with me.
Nice.
I prefer it that way actually because it can really consume you. And I, as a person, some people do that and it works for them. It helps them, it grows them. But for me, I prefer to keep it very, I like to compartmentalize.
I think it's a great thing. We all can learn from you in
We
that
can
case.
learn. I was just going to say we should all learn.
It's the switch. Switch on, switch off.
Maybe you can tell me later how you're going to do this. Switch on and off. Another question for the two of you. When you look at female filmmakers, actors, producers, making a foray into the industry today, when there's been such a shift, right, and I think a very, very welcome change, if you had to kind of give them, say, 3 top advice, or say one, what would that be? Yes, for either an actor or filmmaker or a producer, any of them, if you had to say something to them as they navigate through this journey. Yeah.
I think all I would say is go for it. A lot of women have been conditioned and, sort of been trained to doubt themselves for a very, very long time, and they just need that one push where somebody tells them, you know what, go for it, I'm behind, I will back you, and you have nothing to worry about. I think that first step is very, very important. So for me as a girl also, I would just encourage every other woman who wants to do whatever it is in life that she wants to do, to just go for it. Yeah.
I don't think I'm anyone to give anyone advice, but I would just say that don't hold back. We find ourselves in many rooms where you're the only female voice, but I think it's an important voice. It's an important point of view, it's an important perspective, so I think it's important that we don't hold back. And I would say the other thing, since we've touched upon it both of us twice over, I think it's the sense of community. Women for women. I would say that's more important than anything else. And the perception of when women go together or when women are together, I think those are populated by, dated cockroaches. So I think fostering a sense of community and really standing for each other is top of mind for me.
And I really do hope that we do get to see more women in our workplaces when, because it's just, like I've done 2 projects now with, which were held by female directors. One was Khandani Shakapana and one is The Heart. And I kid you not, those have been one of the best experiences of my life, of my career, and it's just such a smoother set when it's run by a woman. So I would really encourage more women to get into it.
I think you're already seeing that shift. I think women are really coming forward more confident when it comes to this industry as opposed to what we saw even 5 years ago. I mean, that's something that I see around me. So actually, before we go, it's just a question that popped into my head and I think I have to ask you before you leave. Do you remember the day you got the call for being a part of Reemana? Do you remember what you were doing? Do you remember what your reaction was? What is it that you felt? Please leave us with
Oh, that's a funny story. So, Sanjay said, even before he did produce a film of mine which was called Rowdy Rathod, very, very long back. And ever since then, he's been very, very fond of me. Like, every time I meet him, he's always like so encouraging, he's always praising me, and sometimes it's like, I don't know where to look. Like, I'm like, oh my god, this is happening. But he's been very, very fond of me, and so we tried and didn't work out. He went ahead, he did his stuff, I was doing my work. So every time I went to his office, I would sit with him, we would chat over a cup. He started his project, I'm doing something else, he's doing something else. So I got a call for Reemana, Sanjay sir wants to meet you. So I said, okay, great. I'll be there, I live very close to his office. I landed up, I sat with him. He came into the room, I sat down and I was chilling there with, Reemana was there. And we were talking and then he came and said, sir, every time I call you to your office, you give me coffee and I leave. This time I'm not having coffee with you, I'm going to have tea. Yeah. I had tea with him, we've had the same sort of conversation we always used to have. I've gone home and I'm in here. So tea is the answer, guys.
with us, Sonakshi. And I want to say, Ori, thank you so much for talking to me and thank you.
I think this has a direct conversation. Vibrant insights to illuminate the conversations leaving us inspired and enriched. Thank you once again for your presence, Sonakshi. It is our Tanya for the making this contribution.
Thank you, ma'am. Sorry.
Thank you, please.
Women's Day is coming.
Yes, happy Women's Day.
Yes. What is a woman empowerment according to what is your definition?
I think women are already empowered. they have
message.
it in them.
Yes.
They have it in them already. They just need to go for it and follow all their dreams. And I think women are just so strong in themselves. They just need to find themselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also congratulations for you.
Thank you.
Hi Sonakshi.
थोड़ा साइड हटो ना बीच से Madam.